Hey guys, hope all is well. So back with another live stream here, and I can see that we already have Rob is here. Rob, if you could hear me all right, just let me know if you have any problems at all with the audio or anything. I will try and fix it. Hopefully my internet holds up here. Looks like it's being a little weird. So hopefully everything works out all right. Wanted to basically circle back with everybody and say thank you for supporting Soulfinder Infinite Ascent. Thank you for those who have publicly and privately said, hey, I didn't get it this week, but I get paid next week. I'm going to purchase it next week. That's cool. Whatever. The great thing about just putting it out on the website is you can get it whenever you want. You could get it a month from now. You could get it 6 months from now. You could get it for Thanksgiving. You could get it for Christmas. You could buy it as a Christmas gift for somebody. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. And actually, I'll talk about that. So, I want to talk about why I released things as I did, and digital first, and now the saddle stitch, and then the hardcover, and all these sorts of things. Just not even dealing with crowdfunding. I didn't do that on Black Tide either, but I really, really, really like not crowdfunding. I was talking to another creator yesterday, and maybe eventually we will talk about this together on a stream, but I'm just not made for crowdfunding. Tagia, thanks for tuning in as well. Appreciate it. So I'm not a carnival barker. I'm not like a circus ringmaster type of guy. I don't generally like to be out there. In my ideal world, I would just be like, hey, here's another book. I think it's good. I'm biased, but I think it's good. I try to be as objective as possible. It's out there. Check it out. I have a track record. You could look at the track record. You could look at old reviews of people that don't particularly like me. Sometimes you could read between the lines when they're like not really they want to not be fair, but like they can't help themselves. So it's like, yeah, I got a track record. You could check it out. If you're not into it, then maybe next time we'll get you or whatever. But the reality is that you have to some extent, you have to market yourself or whatever. You have to, and people want to know that you believe in the product. And so you have to get out there. But I don't like these 30, 60-day campaigns. It's just very stressful. I like just putting it out there. Boom. It's there. Rob says, wait, don't give it away. Let certain people keep making wild theories. Oh yeah, we could talk about all sorts of stuff. So let's see. I got some notes here just to make sure I don't forget anything. I wrote these right before I came on this morning. This week has been busy. That was the other thing is I was like, you know what? I want to put it out on a Wednesday. It's comic book day. All this sort of stuff. But I still have the hardcover coming out. And then as is always the case, there's always stuff going on up until the moment the book is literally printed. You're finding stuff that you're like, oh no, like that's going to be a problem, possibly a big problem. And so you're tweaking things and all sorts of stuff. So I literally had a business meeting at 6:45 this morning to make sure that everything. So one of the things with the hardcover is because I have the bonus art in there and all this stuff. It's got Matt Weldon's inks in there. If you screw up one thing, the double page spreads will not. You'll screw up the double page spread, and so it'll be like it's supposed to start on the left hand side of the page, and then it's like a page turn or whatever. So these are all these. I am so paranoid about that, and just making sure, like, hey, so everything was straightened out this morning. The printers know exactly where I want everything. If you remember in Black Tide, the hardcover, when you open it up, there's the guy in the submarine. It's like the front end sheet, basically, on the hard cardboard. So there was a little confusion where they were like, they didn't realize that I wanted that again, that image on the front, and they were like basically considering it text. And it was like, no, I want when you open it up, it's Alejandro Mirabal's little image with the Jeep across the entire page on the cardboard. And that's what I want. So there's always stuff going on. Anyway, I just wanted to get the book out there. It was done. It's been done for a long time. And I was like, I got to get it out there because I believe in the book. I think it's good. And that's the thing. So there's a risk involved with putting out books early, because what if people hate them? What if they don't like them? So I put the book on Amazon Kindle. I put it out there. People could have hated it. They could have started taking screenshots and reviewing it and saying this book sucks. Like, what did Doug do? What was he thinking? Was he on drugs for this book? Like, what is going on? And then I would have the hardcover coming out, and it would, you don't want bad press or whatever before a book comes out. So you're taking a risk when you're doing these sorts of things. So I sent out some review copies, as Rob noted. Rob got his copy months ago at Bell County Comic Con. I wanted to make sure we had new stuff down in Texas. Rob could have came online and be like, hey, I just read Soulfinder Infinite Ascent, and I did not like it at all. It's just, oh boy. He could have done that. So I could have been all secretive and been like, oh, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just going to release it all at once. And I'm going to tell people it's awesome. It's awesome. Awesome. And then hopefully they'll just buy it. And then if they don't like it, then too late. Gotcha. That sort of stuff. I don't want to do that. So I was like, no, I think the book's really good. I think Matt did a great job. Bill did a great job. Alejandro, all these guys. Jeff Spokes helped out he's been helping out all sorts of stuff. So yeah. Now there was somebody who will not support me anymore because the book is on Amazon Kindle. So you get stuff like that. So no matter what you do, there's always somebody going to be upset or whatever. But it's like, no, I need to get the digital out there. And so it's out there. So if you enjoy the book and you want a cheaper version, and the Amazon Kindle version, I believe, is $7. Yes, it is $7. Now, this is the other thing. It gets in all the psychological stuff. If you look at all the other books, everyone's always doing the $5.99, $6.99, $9.99. And I just I want to $7. That's what I'm going to do. So maybe I would sell more if I did $6.99, but I just don't really do things like that. Tagia says the ending with Greg was a wonderful ease of the tension. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. So that was another thing. I wasn't sure how. I don't want to spoiler here, but it's tied to Detective Chua. So if you haven't read the book yet, just know that Chua plays a very important role. And I wanted to do something that kind of switched things up on people, because normally you think, oh, well, the Soulfinders, they have to do X, Y, and Z in order to save the day or whatever. And I was like, no, Chua is your average dude, and he's not a priest. He doesn't have the authority to perform exorcisms. So what can we do to make everything hinge on Greg? And that'll be interesting. And then there was another, most of the time we've been in these demonic realms, or the spiritual supernatural plane that involves the demons. This is a little spoilery. So I wanted to be in a realm where it's not about the demonic. It's actually about the holy and sanctity and all of these sorts of things. So that's another sort of curveball that I was throwing the reader, and I didn't know how they would, because maybe they want big explosions and stuff like that. And there is an explosion in the book, but it's earlier in the book. And so you never know how people are going to treat the ending, but I wanted it to hinge on something that is meaningful, but simultaneously supernatural as well. So that was the idea behind that. The Ravens Loft. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, man. So like I said, just thanking everybody who's already purchased Soulfinder Infinite Ascent, who said they're going to, people that haven't, but they've shared the links. That is huge. And here's the other thing. So, that'll get into Common America stuff. Tim and Mark, they're always trying to make you cry. They're trying to make you cry. So the digital version of Common America 6 is also out last night, I believe, but I haven't had a chance to read it. But I couldn't resist. I saw people posting these scenes. I read this scene, another tearjerker. They're always getting you. Tim and Mark, man. I didn't even read the story yet. I just read the panels and I was like, oh man, they've done it again. Oh boy. But that gets into some other stuff we'll talk about as well. So, um, let's see here. I finally got to reveal the bad guy. I haven't been able to do that for months. I did like one time, like months ago, in an Alejandro piece, but I have not had a chance to reveal Stephen Pock to the world. And this is actually one of my favorite scenes. What Matt did with it, because the bad guy regurgitates the black matchbook that you see in Soulfinder Demons Match. So if you've been around since the beginning, Bianca, thanks for tuning in. Aloha. You would recognize the black matchbook and what that means and all that sort of thing. But also because this particular character, again, a little spoilery. So this story, the thing that I like about it is I was thinking, like, what if you had this guy and you have to bring him on a trip with you, but he's an evil guy. He's a bad guy. You can't hurt him. You're supposed to take care of him, but you got to get him to the destination. But he's screwing with you the entire way, constantly. He will not stop. So they're going up this mountain and they have this guy. They got to literally drag him, figuratively and literally drag him up a mountain. And he is just screwing with him the constant time, like psychological warfare, trying to mess with their faith, trying to find the weaknesses in their armor. He's just constantly, and you got to be nice to this guy. You can't break. You're the priest. You're supposed to be the better man, and he's just seriously just jabbing you and jabbing you and jabbing you and jabbing you. And so he's doing that again here, and then he's got the like, this is for you sort of thing. And Matt did it amazingly. He always knows what I'm thinking of. And when I saw this the first time, I was like, yes, he got it. So it's been cool to actually like reveal some of this sort of stuff. Again, the characters. This is another idea that I've been playing or like to play around with, where he says virtuous men are so predictable. So it's like one of those things where you have a set of rules that you got to abide by. You have a moral compass. They're boxed in on many levels. And so how do the bad guys exploit that sort of thing, where it's like, okay, they don't play by any rules. They can do whatever they want. The ends justify the means to them. So how do you succeed against people that have no rules? They have no boundaries. They do whatever they want. They think they're right no matter what. You're always wrong. They're the smartest guy in the room, and it doesn't matter. They will use underhanded tactics. They will do anything to basically, quote unquote, win or to get their way, that sort of stuff. So it was cool. I finally got to release these images. VMRE, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Let's see. All right. Tagia says, I'm waiting for my next version. All right. So let's get down to, where was it? Oh, like I said, reviews already coming in. I sent them out to people that I knew. Now, Magnetic Eye, I don't think he has a YouTube channel or whatever, but he's always giving it to me straight. He's been reading since the blogging days. And so there was a couple people where I was like, man, I'm going to send it to them. And I know that if they don't like it, they're going to tell me the truth. But if they do like it, then I'm going to breathe a sigh of relief. So it's one of those things where it's like, you could either play it safe or you could roll the dice. You could just put it out there. So I like to take calculated risks, but big risks. So, and people know that Black Tide hardcover, skipping crowdfunding altogether, just going straight to hardcover. Again, just releasing the digital early, sending out review copies. These are risks. And I believe that if you take calculated risks, but you have done your homework and you've worked hard and you try to get all your ducks in a row, there could be big rewards. So yeah, Magnetic Eye, thank you for reading since the blogging days. Thank you for always being straight up with me. He says, if you crave adventure stories, this has it all: drama, intrigue, action, mysticism, and humor. A beautifully bound book with fantastic art and colors. Now, he's talking about the Saddle Stitch version, which, again, it's 72 pages, and API did a really good job with that. I was very happy with how it turned out. That's the other thing. Saddle Stitch, I can get those out. I don't need to wait months, and I don't need to get in a huge queue, basically, in order to get everything out. So I like that. And it's just another version that's out there. You want digital? Boom, you got it. You want Saddle Stitch? Boom, you got it. You want the hardcover? Boom, you got it. I don't have pop-up books right now. I don't plan on pop-up books, but if enough people want pop-up books, we're going to go with pop-up books. But seriously, no. I said on Twitter that the books are going to be translated into Spanish and Japanese. I heard back from some very cool people today. They are all set. They are ready to go. We have agreed upon everything that needs to be agreed upon in terms of compensation and all of those sorts of things. They are very happy. So yeah, Spanish speaking readers, you're going to get Soulfinder in Spanish. I wanted to reward the Japanese readers because they have been so kind to me. They obviously like Common America, but they've been very, very kind to me in terms of welcoming me into the fold. They didn't need to do that. They did. And so, yeah, it's going to be translated into Japanese as well. So we're continuing. This is another conversation I was having with a creator yesterday. If you look at what Iconic Comics is doing, it is constantly trying to find new ways to push outward. We don't know if everything's going to work, but we're pushing outward into literally new territories, new parts of the world in ways that other people are not. If there's a vacuum, you want to fill the vacuum. There's people that are not translating their stuff into other languages. How many Catholics are in South America? How many Catholics are, in North America, like that speak Spanish? A ton. So it only makes sense. I literally last year or the year before, I had some guy that worked at like an orphanage or it was like a youth center for kids without parents or something like that. But it was run by like a Catholic organization. And similar to what you actually see in Infinite Ascent. That's one I visited in the Philippines when I was on a mission trip a couple years ago. But anyway, he was just like, yeah, we want to get the books for the kids, blah, 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 blah. But it's not in Spanish. So I could understand where they're like, oh, wait, it's not in Spanish. So now I could get the book in Spanish. I could circle back with that guy and be like, hey, those kids still want the books in the school? If they do, I got them in Spanish. I'll send them to you at either for free or even like a discounted price. And you never know what's going to happen as you sort of do that stuff, basically. So, and that gets into people that are all about like, I can't quote unquote lose any money right now. Sometimes you do things, you quote unquote lose money on the front end, but on the back end, if it pays off, you're rewarded exponentially, especially if you do things not selfishly, but selflessly, giving to people where you don't have any expectation of being repaid in any way. You're just trying to be nice and see what happens. A lot of times, really, really good things happen if you're just nice to people. Now, obviously, I mean, we could get into being nice to people and bad things happening, but the vast majority of the time, if you are selfless in your giving of your time to other people, and you're not just like a penny pincher and a miser and all that sort of stuff, it's going to come back to you in many, many ways. There's a multiplier effect to kindness that a lot of people don't seem to understand. They just want to hoard everything. You just want to have it for yourself and nobody else. Well, maybe if you just give that thing away to somebody else, That's what was meant to happen, and that's what was needed for you to flourish. You needed to give something away that you wanted to hang on to. But we're getting into all sorts of spiritual sort of conversations now. Like I said, very first day, this is a guy. He's on YouTube here. He's commented in my Night Rider video. First day, boom, tracking number. That's another thing. So how do I say this? I got to try and be tactful in how I say things. But you're not waiting months or years or whatever for your tracking number. Literally within hours. So sometimes people are like, Doug, why aren't you crowdfunding? You're missing out. You're leaving money on the table, Doug. Like a couple years ago, there was apparently someone that was going to Wes from Thinking Critical, and he was literally angry. Wes said and Wes said this on like a public stream, I believe, too. The guy was literally angry that I was not crowdfunding because he said I was leaving money on the table. And it's like, okay, what if call me crazy? What if I've always been a consumer advocate at heart and my heart is with the customer? What if my heart is with the reader? Okay, I could either quote leave money on the just hoard that money. I got to grab that money off the table at the casino or whatever. Or I could think, hey, if I was a reader, wouldn't it be cool if I could order a really good indie comic and literally within hours get my tracking number? And maybe within like 48 hours, I would have my book. If you live in Texas, you're probably going to get Infinite Ascent within 24 hours. And actually, that's an idea that I have. There's an idea that I have for like the fourth volume that I want to play around with in terms of getting people their books insanely fast. At least, or maybe like the early adopters or whatever you want to call them, like the early bird special sort of stuff. But I'm giving too much away right now. So again, my heart is always with the customer. My heart is with the reader. I'm thinking like, what would make a better reader experience? What would make a better customer experience? Like, money is nice and all. I like money. I like orders, but I don't really care about money. The only, like I've said this, it doesn't seem to sink in with a lot of people within the indie comics community. Gotta be careful what I say, because a lot of people in the indie comics community, they are obsessed with money. They're obsessed with the profits. We gotta make the profits because that's the benchmark for success. All this sort of stuff. Are we letting everybody know? Are we letting everybody know, tooting our horn, how much we made every single second of the day, rolling in the dough like Scrooge McDuck? There was literally, like, there's been people that have been mad because they don't know how many books I'm selling, how much money exactly I'm making. I've said this before. Even though I show my API invoices to show that I continue to order more books because I keep selling my books. And that's the other thing. They don't understand. I mentioned this in one of my early, where is it? All right. I basically said, like, dude, I exited your paradigm. I don't belong to your paradigm at all. I made it work for myself. And so a lot of people, I was talking to another creator about this, they would rather have a massive influx of cash like quickly. And then their sales drop to like zero or like close to zero for like the rest of the year. They did it. They got their thing. It's gone. And whatnot. But the thing with Soulfinder has been, and this is since the start with Demon's Match, it's a slow burn. You know, the Father Redder on the cover, the Dave Dorman cover with the match just sitting there burning, slow burn, slow burn. So what happens with Soulfinder? Obviously, the first week you have your bump in sales or whatnot, but historically, especially once it's on the website, every single week there is a consistent amount of uh, people that are buying the book, of customers that are coming in. Now, I'm just making up a number. Say it's 15 readers per week, or maybe let's even go down from that. Let's say it's 10. I don't know. I should know the exact numbers off the top of my head. I just know that Iconic Comics biannually cuts me a nice little check. Anyway, so and I've talked to them about all of this sort of stuff. So week 1, and then go out to week 20. If you look at the numbers, like it's steady as she goes, steady as she goes. And then at the end of the year, you look at in the aggregate, the number of sales that you've had, and you're like, oh, wow, that did really well. And the other thing about Soulfinder is it's on the website. Then randomly throughout the year, there'll be like these Catholic people that will read it. Sometimes they work for like news organizations, sometimes they're like whatever, and then they review it, and then it gets into some like random Catholic pipeline, and then we get like a bump in sales. So last year was EWTN did a interview for the first 2 books, and we got like a giant bump in sales for that particular week. It was like, I don't know exactly off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I'm not showing the exact numbers or whatever, but we'll just say like there was like a bump of like 150 to 200 sales over 48 hours out of nowhere for the books, and they were buying the first 2 books. So every year that sort of thing happens. And that's why I literally don't care. Like, like someone's like, why weren't you live streaming? You should have done like a 5-hour live stream, Doug, the first day that you dropped it. And it was like, nah, I'm just putting it out there and it's fine. And again, it's the saddle stitch version. Most of the Soulfinder customers, the existing customers, they've told me they're waiting for the hardcover. So if they get the soft cover right now, it's because they can't wait. They just want to read the story, and they're probably going to get the hardcover anyway. Or they just want to support it, and they want to get both. And so, yeah, Tyler from Draw and Talk is here. Oh, Tyler, since you are here, I was going to talk about you, but not in a bad way. Let's see. Doug is a criminal for not letting us the sales numbers. How can we hold him and his business accountable? Time to stream for the next 3 months every day until we get answers. Yeah, no, like I said, I opted out of that paradigm. I don't exist in it. I'm just doing my thing. And now, again, I've said before, I'm not 100% opposed to crowdfunding. I might go back to crowdfunding. Or I might do small streamlined campaigns that are just really fast. And maybe they have like specialty items that whatever. But I really like just literally going to Iconic Comics. Here it is. It's $10, 72-page story. Dave Dorman, Alejandro Mirabal, Matt Weldon, Bill Williams, all these guys. Here it is. It sort of speaks for itself as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's like you know my writing by now, and you can see the art. You can see the synopsis. I mean, oh, Rob was talking about Shua's biceps, got Shua arms. So now that's the standard. I gotta get Shua biceps. Spoiler. I have been doing pull-ups and chin-ups like crazy over the past couple months. So I'm trying to get my own Chua biceps and back and buys. Because I've been trying to people know that I have my little weird back problems or whatever. So I have been trying my best to get myself in a place where my back doesn't keep going out. Josh, the amazing animator, is here. Josh, I owe you a Doug prize. I haven't mailed it out yet. I was mailing other like Soulfinder out, but I will get you your Doug prize, your C.S. Lewis. I have not forgotten about you. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Back to Tyler, since he's here. I was cracking up every once in a while. I crack up at his feed, and also I try and tune in. I can't watch for like hours to the live streams or whatever, but I usually catch like a half an hour of the live stream. And I love when he's got that music that or whatever. He recently did a stream. Yeah, just check it out. Check out Draw and Talk. Anyway, dear creators, there are creators who want to help you and otherwise want to use you for their own engagement and ladder to the top. Be wary on who is trying to lend you a helping hand and the others who are trying to climb over you. Lots of wolves in sheep's clothing. Now, sometimes people ask me, they're like, dude, why don't you, like, you don't really talk to other creators. You don't really promote other creators. You don't really talk to anybody. And Tyler recently talked about this as well. I thought it was very interesting. So essentially, you could either, this is what happens, not it's an either or sort of thing. But there is a network of creators, and then there's basically a network of creators who are like focused solely on gaining readers, like a readership base. And so you have these creators that they just want to be popular with other creators, and they are essentially selling their products to, I'm just saying, like a small, we'll just say like however many, I'll say like 400 to like 1,000 creators out there on social media where they want this transactional relationship. Like, hey, you buy my book, I'll buy your book. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Boop, 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 boop. And then you basically get like trapped in this like little world where it's like, you didn't scratch my back hard enough. Scratch harder. And if you don't scratch harder, I'm going to like digitally punch you in the face and say that you're a bad person. So I have opted out of it. No, I want no part of it, because my experience has been the vast majority of the time when you're dealing with people that have money problems, when you're dealing with people that want to be popular, when you're dealing with people that want to be influential, a large percentage of them, they're they're conniving little dudes. We'll just put it that way. They have no qualms about throwing you under the bus in a second. They will privately ask you for all sorts of help, and then publicly they will throw you under the bus in a moment's notice. Like, that is what they do. And so for the most part, I only care about the readers. Now, if you are a reader who just happens to be a creator, like that's cool. But yeah, so I basically only talk to Tim, Mark, Bill, Matt, Eric Canetti. Who am I missing? Tyler has always been very kind to me. Josh, the amazing animator, has been very kind to me. So over the years, the people that I'm willing to talk to just keeps shrinking, because again, my experience has been there. You'll see these people, these creators, they will like talk crap about you on like on social media, and then they think that like it doesn't get back to you, and then like they'll randomly be like, hey man, my book's coming out, you want to promo my book? No, I don't. And it's like, I saw you literally talking crap about me. Why would I want anything to do with you? I'm not going to fight with you. This is my internal monologue. I don't even fight with them when this happens. I'm just like, I literally saw you on a live stream and people were lying about me, and you said nothing. You know the truth, but you said nothing. So why would I want to promote your book? Why would I want to promote you? You're a malevolent gremlin. No. So again, this is my internal monologue, and this is why, Tyler, man, I totally feel you. So yeah, my essentially circle is Iconic Comics at this point in time. I don't really talk about to almost anybody outside Iconic Comics. And there was somebody the other day, I felt really bad because he was asking me a question, and I had to tell him, I was like, no can do, man. Can't answer it. Nope. Because the last time I tried to be nice and answer this question for somebody, it didn't turn out well. So I'm not answering your question. Sorry. Can't do it. And so people get mad. Then it's like you're like cold, you're standoffish. They're like, oh, Doug's kind of, what's his problem? I mean, my problem is there's only so many times that you could extend a hand to somebody and then just get slapped across the face instead of someone shaking your hand before you're like, nah, I think I'm gonna focus on Mr. Grohovec here, a reader. Ravensloft, you've always been nice to me as far as yeah. I shouldn't even say as far as I know. So yeah, the people that are literally watching right now, Oregon 87, Tagia. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Speaking, like I said earlier, I actually got people mad at me that I'm on Amazon Kindle. Some people probably don't like Zuck. I don't like Zuck either, but I still, if you're on Facebook, check out the Iconic Comics Facebook page as well, because updates are often there as well. Let me knock that out. Boom, knock that out. All right, going back to the book stuff, HVK American on did a podcast review, and this hit the nail on the head with the iconic stuff. Now, this is Common America 6. You can read this, you cannot read it if you go to Rob's feed here. But long story short, this podcast was like 33 minutes long. I listened to the whole thing. It was amazing. The dude gets what Iconic Comics is about, just totally gets it. The one thing that you will see with Tim and Mark, and I try to do this to an extent, but they are very successful at this, is what you will see with the Iconic Comic books is people will talk about very specific scenes. They will talk about the writers, the writing, and they won't just be like, "Oh, hey, I just got so and so book," and then that's all they say. Or they'll just be like, I'm trying to be as tactful as possible here. But the thing that I believe sets Iconic Comics apart is you have these emotional moments in the book where sometimes they're like a sucker punch. They're an emotional sucker punch. You're reading it, you're having fun, and you're like, and then all of a sudden you're like, boom! You just get hit with this punch, but it's a good punch. It's not a bad punch. It's like you're a UFC fighter and you like fighting, and sometimes people get you with a good punch and they like kind of smile and they give you like a quick thumbs up, like, yeah, you got me. You got me there. That's what Tim and Mark do. So they throw this in there, and this fosters an emotional connection with the readers that you don't get from other books. Again, I'm biased towards the iconic books myself, but I mean, read the books. Like I said, I've not had a chance to read Common America 6 yet, but I read this scene and I already know they did it. They did it again. So, yeah, I don't know. It's one of these things. I was talking to another creator yesterday, and I was saying it's like planting seeds. And you're planting quality seeds. The seeds take a while to grow, but eventually, if you keep doing this, you're going to have a very, very nice garden. So a lot of people just want to have the garden immediately. They want to snap their fingers and they're boom, they're in the Garden of Eden or whatever. And that's not the way it works. So the other day, so here we go. I'll try and find this in my responses. So there's a percentage. There's a small percentage of critics that we were talking about earlier who they were just like, we can't see Doug's audience. We don't know who his audience is. Well, first of all, you can see the audience in my Twitter feed and people buying stuff. But that's besides the point. But here is my audience. This is what I'm talking about, planting seeds. This particular woman, I'm going to botch her last name, Ms. Perschala. She goes, just ordered this, looks amazing. I have never seen this lady before. She just followed me the other day. Catholic, married, indie author, artist, relentlessly pursuing creativity, truth, and beauty. Okay, so the audience for Soulfinder, a lot of them are Catholic men, Catholic ladies who are quiet. They don't make waves. They're not on social media all the time. They're not on YouTube. They're not giving people super chats. They're just people who are nice people that are looking for good books. They want to get in bed with a nice book at night and they're going to buy it. And if they like it, they'll keep buying it. But they're not rabid by any stretch of the imagination. So this is someone who she buys the book. And a lot of these people, when they buy the book, they buy the previous books. Like, so maybe she just bought this book because she knows it's a standalone story. She likes it. She gets the first 2 books. Or maybe she did buy all 3 books. I don't know. I don't have access to Iconic's internal numbers. But these people make up a large percentage of the reader base of Soulfinder. They're just quiet people that are doing their things. Now, we also have a number of military veterans. There's a lot of Army guys, obviously, and law enforcement tends to also be readers. These are people, especially at conventions, that buy the books. So, again, I'm off the radar. Going back to the Knight Rider, a man that does not exist, that sort of thing. I exist, but I don't exist, if that makes sense. Because you're not seeing like crazy YouTubers are like, Doug Ernst, yeah, winning, or whatever. Like, that's not happening in terms of like other people. Who cares? I literally don't care. Because like I said, there are many, many Miss Perschalas out there, and many, many Robs out there, or Mr. Grahovacs out there. They're just generally more low-key individuals that are buying books, and they will continue to buy books. I know because I'm the one who receives the emails and the direct messages from people that are like, dude, as long as you write this series, I will continue to read this series. There's a couple weeks ago, I was able to publish. There was a guy who was at seminary. He's going to be a priest, and he loves Soulfinder. There's so many priests and deacons that read Soulfinder. These are not people that are boisterous, that are braggarts on social media about stuff. They're just buying the books, and then they'll like randomly like email me and be like, "Hey, I really like this book. Please keep making it because I want to keep reading it." And so I will. So that's that. Boom. All right. I think I've talked about all the things I really wanted to talk about for this stream. There's always something. Oh, I want to thank the Iconic Comics, the fulfillment guys. They were getting books ready. They were bagging books and boarding books and getting them all ready, getting them out there, packaging stuff up. So thanks to them, particularly Range Master Dan. People that are familiar with Iconic Comics know Range Master Dan. Very, very hard worker. Range Master Dan's wife is a very hard worker as well. So thank all of you. Is there anything else I missed here? All right. Where was the... Oh, here we go. Yeah, here was the tweet. I was talking to another creator on Monday morning about Monday morning quarterbacks. Critics don't understand. I opted out of their paradigm and made my own work. There are Soulfinder readers getting tracking numbers for their books on day one. I think that's cool. Again, to bring things full circle, I have always been a consumer advocate at heart. I started out on that. People that read my blog years ago, like Magnetic Eye, who I talked about earlier, they know I am about the customer. I am about the reader. So if I can get people tracking numbers on day one, I'm going to get you tracking numbers on day one. That's what we're going to do. Oh, I almost forgot. I can't give anything away, but I got new artwork from Jeff Spokes yesterday. He has completed it. There will be merch coming out in 2023, and I needed his artwork because it's going to be wrapped there's packaging, and his artwork is the packaging. So that's done. I heard from Rugged Rosaries yesterday. There's been a project I wanted to work on with them. They got back to me. Boom. There was something from Ukraine that they needed. It was metal that was cast in Ukraine, but because of all the, the war and stuff, they literally couldn't get the metal that they needed from the, their guy. So, but they got some, and they're like, hey, whatever you want, we got it. So I'm going to have new Rugged Rosary stuff. I got the Jeff Spokes stuff coming out. And then there's a couple other like merch things that I got to work on. And Soulfinder Volume 4 is well on its way. And I think that's about it. Hardcovers are coming. Like I said, let's go back to the Dave Dorman art. Those, I had a meeting with API this morning, and everything went well. Sorry, I was looking for the Dave Dorman art. But yeah, everything is on track. Oh, that was the other thing. Soulfinder Warcry. It's done, it's printed, and it may actually even be en route to me right now. So that's a short story that takes place at Arlington Cemetery. And on my Zoom call with API this morning, they said, no, it's done. And we got the track, we're going to send the tracking numbers out, blah, 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 blah. So Warcry will be ready in the near future, and maybe that will be on Iconic Comics. I have plans with that. And there's another creator I'm doing a short story with, not Warcry, another one, Noctis Terrare, Night Terror. I might turn it into Night Terrors, plural. I don't know. But he's been doing artwork for that. That's going to be an 8-page short story, but I'm going to, we're going to include probably like concept art, and probably if he's got like black and white stuff. I don't know. We're going to put it together. It is a short story. It's going to be saddle stitch, but we're going to package it with all sorts of like cool stuff. So it'll be worth it. And I don't know if I'll sell it at a really cheap price, or I might just give it away to people that order Soulfinder, like the regular books. Or if you just order a certain amount of Iconic comic books. So if your order hits like $25 or something, maybe you'll get Noctis Terrare. We'll see. I don't know. But those are things we're toying around with. So long story short, there's plenty of stuff that's just over the horizon. Tim and Mark, they got their crossover for next year that's coming with Antarctic Press. If you liked this year's crossover, you are going to love next year's crossover, even though I only know the overarching sort of story. It's going to be good. So things are looking up. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you to everybody who has supported Iconic Comics. Thank you to everyone who has spread the word. I appreciate it. And if you want to buy Soulfinder Infinite Ascent this week, great. Next week, great. December, great. January, February, March, April, May, whenever suits your budget. But it's a good story. It's a really good story. And the art is fantastic. So Matt Weldon, thank you again. Bill Williams, thank you again. Alejandro Mirabal, Dave Dorman. Oh, Dave Dorman's cover for Soulfinder Volume 4 will be coming shortly as well. If he does it on Dave's Dugout, then I will send a link, but I don't know if he's going to do that. But I know the image that he's doing. He showed me the rough. It looks really cool. I know he's going to knock it out of the park. He has with all the others. So, yeah, good stuff. Rob says, of the Common America 6, that honestly got me to almost cry, but I held it in the best I can. It's all right to cry, Rob. It's all right to cry. Inappropriate settings, for sure. But, sometimes it's very healthy if you see something that touches your humanity and you shed a tear. So don't be ashamed of the tears at the Timothy Lim and Mark Pellegrini books, because they know what they're doing. Great job, guys. Great job. I'm going to read Common America 6 probably today or tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm seeing the reactions already. They're really good. So I can't wait to read it. I usually know like the overarching, like the notes, the main notes of the books, but Tim is very good at keeping things close to the vest, that sort of stuff. Let's see what else. Draw and Talk, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Tagia, Rob, Ravensloft, Bianca, somebody I'm missing, Grohovac, Josh the Amazing Animator, Oregon 87, Jefferson Roswell, congrats on the new book. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Thanks for spreading the word to everyone. I appreciate it. All you guys rocked, or do rock. I shouldn't use past tense there. And all right, I will see you guys later. Thanks again for everything. See ya.